He may think of himself as the Joker, but today in court, James Egan Holmes wasn't smiling.
Dear CIA and Fearstream Media, I am a combat-trained U.S. Marine with 4 years infantry as a weapons platoon section leader and demolitions expert. With all my expertise and resources, there is no way I could have pulled off this sophisticated killing spree operation all by myself, nor have access to a $20,000 arsenal without some inside help. I am part of the 100%, awake and aware, free of your fear tactics, safe to travel and safe to take my family to the movies.
Look out for Charlie.
I'm going to get into a subject in a little bit, but I want to talk about why I haven't released a video in a while first. We're watching something really, really strange happen with the internet. There's suddenly a big shift, right? And everything is getting 4chan-y everywhere. It seemed to really start with X or Twitter. And a lot of people are happy about that, right? But I don't know if this is a natural thing or not, especially when YouTube starts following suit and doing things very similar to X, right? I've watched channels pop up in the last few months, 4 or 5 months, that now have, 100,000 subscribers. And some of them are talking about things that I couldn't even talk about before without risking being banned. And they're getting paid for it, man. They're getting flat out paid for it. They've got, some of them have over 100,000 subscribers. And I'm not saying that I want to be paid for it. You got to pay me. I'm watching these channels flourish. And my channel is completely cordoned off. Completely. I'm left with a few people that know the message. I'm essentially preaching to the choir. And a bunch of bots and paid posters. I'm cordoned off everywhere. Like right away, X cordoned me off. YouTube has me cordoned off. While the rest of the internet is evolving and changing. And it's really kind of like running with your head straight into a wall. Because the original intent of this channel was to spread information to people that needed to know it. For those who had an open mind, who could understand what I was saying, it was for them to understand it, but it doesn't do any good if that message isn't getting out. Truly and totally cordoned off. People don't understand shadow banning and how shadow banning really works. It works with keywords. So, they don't totally hide your content. And it took me some months to understand exactly what they were doing. But what they do is, let's say I have, hot keywords in a video title. And I put in, let's just make some up. I put in Eminem, the rapper's name, Eminem, and White House, and Trump. Okay? If somebody types in Trump, my video is not going to show up. If somebody types in Eminem, my video is not going to show up. But if somebody randomly types in White House, they might see my video. But who is just going to randomly type in White House? So what it does is it hides the video, and only a few people see it until it drops down the line of newest videos, right? And then once it's 2 or 3 weeks old, it might show back up in the mix if you put those keywords in. But by then it's been buried by hundreds of videos. So that's how they hide stuff. Sometimes it never shows up, but that's how they hide things from being seen or from becoming viral. Because otherwise, a post or a video can become very, very viral very, very quickly. If the setting is right and people happen to be searching that subject at the same time. So if you hide that video and its keywords from showing up in a search result, then you can control how the information gets out. And I've watched for years as crazy ass videos with crazy ass shenanigans, talking literally crazy ass shit, have gotten way more views about the same subjects because that is what they want out there. It's really disheartening to watch. And then as this change in the internet happens, I wonder if it's really here to train AI. If it's really here to train AI for the big hammer to fall on it. Otherwise, they wouldn't allow this stuff to even be talked about. A lot of what's going on right now. It's just very, very weird, man. And within the last year, 2 years, I've watched channels that are very similar to mine become very, very promoted. I've even had friends contact me saying, dude, I'm seeing this channel all over, TikTok or Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And they're covering relatively the same information that I've covered in the past, but they have that kook angle to it, right? And it's true. It's just fucking crazy shit, man. And most of it isn't their science. It's not things that they've done. They're showing Google shit. Or they're giving you 90% truth, right? And then, or 80% truth. And then they start mixing this bullshit into it. And you can tell it's bullshit if you've been around the block, dude. They all promote the same things. They all promote the same things. So they start promoting this craziness within it. And when you have people that are at a weak spot in their life, or they're dealing with the bewilderment of something heavy coming down on them, they are willing to believe things that they wouldn't normally believe. And that is the bad part, man, because you have these people that are looking for answers. Then you have this person that is giving them 80% truth, and they're going, yeah. And then they're telling you the answers around it are all bullshit. Or who is responsible is bullshit. Or the method in which it's happening is bullshit. Or whatever, the important parts, the core important parts. It's like what people accuse Alex Jones of, right? The important part is bullshit. It's a strange feeling to be so cordoned off in a certain aspect of your life, like this channel with me, that knowing that I'm putting a video out is basically like throwing shit at a wall, except for, the few people that support you that are going to see it. But the truth is that, although I'm glad that the information is there for those people, they already know it. They're not the people that need to learn it. The people that need to learn it are the people out there that are kind of on the fence or wondering about things, that need to understand what is really going on. And before anybody starts talking, clicks or any of that shit, I have done this essentially for free, allowing people to donate to me, especially when I was doing projects that would benefit everybody, allowing people to just donate to me for years. Nothing's been monetized, none of that shit. So, whatever on that. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out what to do and where to go here with this, because it is, it's concerning. It's really concerning. Now, what happened at Las Vegas? Let's talk about that for just a minute. People have been coming up with these fucking crazy-ass theories for years, and I've tried to hint around about it. I've tried to hint and say things, but now I'm done hinting around, and I'm done suffering fools. And if you just don't get it, just don't say anything. Go away. Don't need to deal with it anymore. Listen, what happened at Vegas is no different than what Woody Norris talked about. I'm not saying there wasn't a real weapon somewhere, but it was probably a 2-in-1. Let's assassinate the people that we need to assassinate and make this look like something else entirely. Because a lot of those gunshots were not real. Now, I want you to hear, so you understand what I'm talking about, I want you to hear the account of one woman here, right here, and I'll get into it after that.
It wasn't ceasing, it wasn't slowing down, and it was directly behind us, following us.
It was directly behind us, following us. Now, it's strange how people can understand something, but then when it happens and they're hearing it described, they don't understand that it's the same thing, right? So let's listen to her. Keep going here. It's a dude reading a woman's story.
Bullets were coming from every direction, behind us, in front of us, to the
When she says bullets, she means shots, the sound of shots.
side of us, but I just know that there was someone chasing us. The entire time I felt this way. The further we got from the venue, the closer the gunfire got.
The further we got from the venue, the closer the gunfire got. Now that sounds identical to how people describe voice of God weapons, how the sound moves. It's not quite right. It will move, you'll move a corner or whatever, and they hear somebody's voice gets louder when it should be getting quieter, and it trips them up, and then they have to start coming up with theories to explain away why those voices got louder there, right? And then comes in trying to blame it on live people or whatever, which it isn't. But we'll keep going here.
I kept looking back, expecting to see the gunmen, and I say men because there was more than one person. There was more than one gun firing. 100% more than one. And as we were running, we kept changing direction because it felt like no matter what direction we took, we were being followed.
Okay. Felt like no matter which direction we took, we were being followed, right? This is the woman that ended up dying in her sleep. All right? The witness that ended up dying in her sleep. And she's describing this, and she was taken out because she described exactly what it really was. Let's listen to Woody Norris one more time. Here we go.
So again, this idea of being able to put sound anywhere you want to is really starting to catch on. We've got the military had just deployed some of these into Iraq where you can put fake troop movements a quarter of a mile away on a hillside. Or you can whisper in the ear of a supposed terrorist some biblical verse.
Okay, so what he's describing there is that one person can hear it. They can target one person with the weapon. Or they can fool a bunch of people that it is troops coming from a hillside. Now, what is the definition of troops? Tanks moving, steps, walking, gunshots, those types of sounds. That's exactly what happened in Las Vegas. And to further back up my point, this is exactly what happened to the soldiers on OP Rock who were tortured with this shit and thought that they were being attacked by ghosts when they were hearing machine guns and shit going off, but nothing was actually happening. They were being experimented on in Afghanistan to see what kind of effect it would have on them in the field. And it worked really, really well. I actually did a video on this, and I will link to it below. But here is just part of the soldiers that were on OP Rock and what they dealt with.
So I grabbed the last good battery we have. That's all we have left. Radio's dead. System's dead. Our means of communication have now been completely severed.
Our means of communication have now been completely severed. Weapon of war, dude.
When it happened again, I'm sitting here waiting for that whisper. Bang, 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 bang. Holy hell, we're all about to die right now.
Someone finally got in.
This is a weapon of war, and it's been used in a lot of different scenarios. I won't get into that.
Someone is trying to kill us.
We've been shot at before, but this is close.
Do you understand what I'm telling you here? They are describing exactly what happened in Vegas. Why? Because that's exactly what happened in Vegas. It's exactly what happened in Vegas. That's why people were hearing shots miles away, over here, over there, up and down the street, inside casinos, everywhere, because it was a barrage of artificial sonic weaponry. And I could tell that the first time by hearing it. And this stupid scenario that these guys were tricked into believing was paranormal was on a damn paranormal show. You know, these guys got their minds warped for the Americans or the Israelis or both to test out sonic weaponry on American soldiers. Totally, completely insane. But it happened. And this is exactly what happened in Vegas.
Time to go to work. It's going to be them or me. And it's sure as hell not going to be me.
My heart was pounding really hardcore. Machine gun fired right next to my ear.
Machine gun fired right next to his ear. This is exactly what happened in Vegas. And if you don't get it, and if you've got a problem with what I'm saying, maybe someday you'll wake the fuck up. But the other subject that I want to talk about is all of these operations that have been going on for the big one. They are gearing up for the big one. And it was the 4 a.m. club where all those chicks woke up with a message sent to them, right? It's all the same thing. They've been doing the same shit to people for decades, man, decades and decades. Usually one person, usually just one person. But the technology is advancing, and they can do many, many, many at once, where someone right next to them might not hear it. Now, that's very, very dangerous when you have people of faith, right? Of high faith. If they begin to hear the voice of God, which that is what the weapon is called. It's a voice of God weapon. Now, to get into that a little further, do you remember Mother God? It was a quote-unquote cult by Amy Carlson, right? And the Love Has Won group says right here in late 2007. Okay, normally, if you took out the crazy shit, this would just be a burnout chick who took a bunch of drugs in Colorado, right? And she had some kids, then she left those kids, abandoned her kids with her mother on her birthday, took off, lived with a bunch of hippies, and partied until she died. Okay, that's her story when you take out the crazy shit. Abandoned her children, made everybody else call her mother, because that's how fucked up she was, and then partied until she died. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is she began hearing voices, and then the other people began hearing voices around her. They started to be directed as well. I want to go over that because it's important, because it's coming. They are going to do this to bigger and bigger groups of people. Soon you're going to hear of an entire church who began to hear these voices from God. And if you, I've talked about this before in videos, if you don't hear the message, then you're going to be the bad guy, the evil one, right? You have to realize how dangerous this really, really is before we go further. When you're talking to the Galactic Federation, which is exactly what happened to Eric Giles, who I've talked about many times, who figured it out, that it wasn't a federation of aliens, that he was being fooled, right? When you start getting into this and you start understanding what they are doing to people, it is beyond crazy. Now, what they did to her was an inside joke from start to finish, and none of these hippies or New Agers, whatever you want to call them, that took themselves way too seriously, they never got the joke. Do you know how many people I've been contacted by who back in the day between, let's say, 2013 and 2016, who heard the voice of Robin Williams before he died? Many. I was contacted by many, many people who were being covertly stalked, allegedly, right, and tortured by Robin Williams. They really believed it was Robin Williams who was torturing them by talking in their ear all day. And of course it wasn't Robin Williams, but they said the same thing to her, that it was Robin Williams talking to her all the time. Do you not get the joke? Mork and Mindy, Mork from Ork, Robin Williams was Mork on the show in the 70s or early 80s, who played a fucking alien from Colorado, and they were originally based in Colorado, Nanu, right? And they didn't get the joke. So they kept going with them because they didn't get the joke. Let me refresh your memory on this.
Nanu. Shazbat.
How does a retard not get this? The inside joke that's being played on them. You know, it's like when David Berkowitz was being called the son of Sam because he had been a soldier, he had worked for the Postal Service, and he was being directed to do things, who they called the sons of Sam, to David Berkowitz, right? And no one got that. If you're stupid, Uncle Sam, dude. Son of Sam. So anyway, Mork was an alien on a television show who came to talk to the Carlson, who went by Mother God, literally. Now, it is beyond crazy what they came to believe. She ended up dying, and they mummified her. You'll have to get into the details of it because there are way too many. But I want to show you some clips of how they were talked to and what they were directed to do, because it's very, very important. So, you know, this was way back in 2007, that era, right? And they were using live people on some of these. It's all AI and computers now. All of it. But some of these people, they were using, you know, live voices on or seeing what they could get them to do. And they were continuously giving them insanely bad advice, like begging them to just go, wait a minute, this is a really dumb idea. We shouldn't do it. But they didn't, because they really believed that the voice of God was coming from Mork, Robin Williams. Let's check it out.
Mom had started training Hope and I as oracles to, you know, communicate.
Robin is an expert.
Directly with Robin and stuff.
Communicate directly with Robin.
Oracles, we would get guidance through from the Galactics.
From the Galactics. Rodney Dangerfield.
Our
Tupac.
job was to connect with the Galactics.
Christopher Reeves. These are just a bunch of fucking Hollywood creeps, dude. Michael Jackson.
And get protocols.
Protocols.
Her and the Galactics agreed on for her eating.
These are not the last people that are going to go through this. They're not. There's going to be a bigger group. The big one is coming. And my fear is, like I said earlier, if you don't hear it, you're going to be the bad person, because the righteous people, the quote-unquote righteous people who hear it, are really going to believe it, because they are too stupid in 2025 to understand or realize that anybody can hear directed voices now. It is not impossible, and the technology has been around to easily do it to somebody since the late 1960s and the Beach Boys days, basically.
Agreed on for her eating. Very simple things, nothing complicated.
Lollipop. So the doctor's advice, Dr. Mork from Mork, is to give Mother Goddess, who is dying probably of liver failure from drinking, and then it actually looks like she has more gallons later, but is to get a lollipop. And they didn't go, no, this is a bad idea, man. How about a salad, right?
Amy taught that the less ate, the higher vibration you would be.
The less you ate, the higher your vibration would be. I put that in there so that we could talk about vibration. When somebody starts telling you that your vibration needs to be higher, 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 that's an unnatural state. We don't operate in microwaves or high waves. The human body, what is high to the human body, is not high to anything else. A high frequency, according to Earth, is not a high frequency at all. It's still ELF. We operate within ELF. It's like they got these people worshiping radio waves, right? Higher vibration. Earth operates in the lowest possible vibrations possible. So does your body. So does every animal and every plant. Operates on ELF.
Being in these energies, and they were going to clean you up. Robin taught me to say anorexic now.
So they were actually making fun of her. Robin. Robin is the voice. And he's calling her Miss Anorexic because they're getting her to lose so much weight. Right? And they're basically killing her off. Now, she looks all right here, but eventually she's going to come down with more gallons. And she's got that fucking bar chick laugh, man, that is just obnoxious. Ugh.
And I had that experience because I was able to see Mom.
Mom. So she abandoned her kids for these voices, right? And she's got everybody else calling her mom in order to, like, get rid of some of that guilt or something, right? But this woman abandoned her kids, too, to follow her.
Never true unconditional love. But it has been a challenge being apart from my children.
So she left her kids to follow this chick. That's the problem.
Seen Robin Williams come through Mother God because she's on alcohol. And I feel that she utilized it as a tool to let certain things through.
So he really believed that when she drank, Robin Williams would come through her. None of them ever stopped to think, wait a minute, we're talking to aliens. We believe we're talking to aliens. And this is Robin Williams. And he's Mork from fucking Ork, dude. Like, this is like over the top crazy. But I'm showing this to you to explain exactly how dangerous voice of God weapons can really be.
Because we need to hear it.
You need to hear it.
We have another message for you disgusting bitches and assholes from Robin Williams.
Wow.
You've been instructed to take your heaters. Robin Williams is disgusted. You don't get shit. Your lack of respect to Mother is disgusting.
See, that's what they were trying to do. They were telling them, follow Robin Williams. They got these people there, and then they start treating them like soldiers. So let's see if we can get these people to really start kissing her ass further. They don't respect her enough as a leader. So if you have another person that they want in power, right? And then you have their disciples hearing these voices telling them, you don't respect this person enough. Are they going to, up their game when God's telling them to do it, or Robin Williams? Well, that's what these people are trying to find out. It's a big psychological test.
Chicken Parmesan! I get fucked up every fucking moment by you fucking motherfucking whores.
That is the Mother God chick talking to these people. By you fucking motherfucking whores. That's how she's talking to the people that gave up their lives to follow her dumb burnout ass that was getting attacked with voice of God weapons. That's how crazy this shit is. And here's the criminal that came in to get on the action. And you can tell, you can see the fucking jail on this dude's face.
When did her health start to decline?
Hell, it started to decline as soon as I got home. I brought all the darkness.
Here she's going to tell you that she's been working with the Galactics. So that's Robin Williams, Rodney Dangerfield, Michael Jackson, and all the people that you saw in the cutout photos that they made, the collages.
I'm working with the Galactics every moment. Robin's here. Of course, he's concerned because I've reached over 800 levels of pain.
800 levels of pain. I'm telling you, I have heard from dozens of people who were being tortured by the voice of Robin Williams. It just goes to show that she wasn't the only one, but she was probably the only one that thought Robin Williams was a god and not somebody torturing them.
Mm-hmm. You can't comprehend that in human terms. Her feet started to hurt.
Now my feet have completely given out.
God.
Her skin started breaking out.
Yeah, that looks like the beginning of Morgellons. People get that. They get what they think is a rash on part of their body or their arm, start to change. It's as if it's related to chickenpox, scabies, and poison ivy at the same time as it mutates and changes.
In boils, and her whole back was covered. She lost a dramatic amount of weight.
50 pounds have dropped off my body.
because of humanity's dysfunction.
It's not humanity's dysfunction, dude. You're infected. And she's probably dying of liver failure. And I just thought of this as I was finishing up this video. She probably had liver failure, and her jail criminal lover dude that I showed earlier, probably one of them brought the Morgellons in from somewhere. He probably brought it from jail or somewhere, and now she's got it, right? Because that's how it works. Eventually, if you're around it for long enough in close quarters, eventually you are going to get it.
I had full trust that something was going to happen. We just be praying that this is the day they pick her up, and that day never showed up.
Okay, so here they convinced her that they were going to pick her up in a spaceship. Swear to God. And the spaceship was going to either pick her up or she was going to ascend full body up into the stars, or a hole was going to open up in the ocean. This is like biblical shit for Mother God. The burnout that left her kids behind.
It's not spinning. It's mom pretty much being panicked. And when she's disconnected, all of these thoughts will start to come in. We've watched her spin. She's like, I'm not God. Everything I've done isn't real. What if I made all this up? What if I'm just crazy and everything I've done, it was all just fake?
Okay, it was all fake. Every bit of it. Except for her hearing the voices. The voices were real. Again, I'm showing this to you because there's going to be a bigger group of people next time. These are test runs on these little groups of burnouts and kooks around the country. There's going to be a bigger one.
And it wasn't real, and we just sit there and it's heartbreaking.
Did she try to call her Earth family?
Yeah, she looked
Earth
at me and
family.
said, Faith, if this was you, your mom would be here. And I was like, oh yeah, my mom would be on the first flight. She would be here. She was like, I don't have that.
She doesn't have that. Why? Because her fucking parents were stuck taking care of the children that she abandoned to run off to the boonies of Colorado or Oregon or Hawaii and play as though she was Mother God, because she was hearing voices from these voice of God weapons, right? She took off and her parents couldn't show up, or mother or her family, because they were too busy taking care of her fucking kids, man.
And there was another big shift in the mission. The Galactics came through and said, you have to get to Hawaii.
So they had to take her to Hawaii, right? Because a hole in the ocean was going to open up and transport her. So at this point, they start carting her around the country before she died and mummified. This is how powerful voice of God weapons really are.
According to her, when she left her physical body, when she died, she would ascend her body and her spirit. Or a hole would open up in the ocean, which is why they moved to Hawaii.
See, I've talked about the Ascension Psyop over and over and over. The Ascension Psyop, the replacement of religion, the replacement of Christianity, Buddhism, and all these other religions with Ascension and New Age, is a big operation by the government and by other entities within the government or within this country so that they can control the people. And how do they do that? With voice of God weapons, because if you start to try to connect with the aliens and you're posting about it online, like Eric Giles, someday, sooner or later, it just might happen. And when it happens, you are going to fully believe that it's your star family from outer space when it's not. It is foolproof. And then they can tell you exactly what to do, how to live, and fool you appropriately. And that's exactly what they did to these people.
Right, let's go. Get God on a fucking plane.
Get God on a plane.
The Galactic.
Now, this is her real child having fun. I wanted to show you this. This is her real child explaining what her mom believes in online.
Something. She also believes that Robin Williams came to her when he committed suicide.
So she really believes that, and her kids even making fun of her, man. This is how powerful Voice of God weapons are. She left her children. She left everything. And she's just being a fruitcake out there, buying it. And this isn't the only thing you can buy. They can make you believe all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit. That there is shit going on around you that isn't. This is how powerful Voice of God weapons really are. Let's keep going here.
The Galactics came through to Mom and said, we have to get you to California.
So it went from Hawaii to California. Now they're just like, let's see how many places we can get these fucking fruitcakes to go. And they did it, man. In the name of Ascension. In the name of the Galactic Federation. In the name of Robin Williams. They carted this sick, dying chick everywhere they told them to go. That is total control of somebody.
So me, Aurora, and Michael stayed back in Crestone.
Crestone is the most federal, Psyop, MK Ultra style place, MK Ultra based place you will ever be in your damn life. For real, Crestone is like a spook hideout, right? A lot of weird stuff happens in Crestone. And when you're into this kind of stuff, you will be contacted by a lot of people from Crestone trying to pull you in.
She said she didn't know what else to do except maybe like go to a hospital, but you know, most of the time the Galactics tell her no. You know, it's not us.
So the Galactics were telling her, no, don't go to a hospital. This is how powerful Voice of God weapons are. I'm not saying that you should go to a hospital. I'm telling you that they followed the Galactics, who were agents, telling these people, don't take her to a hospital.
Mom really wanted to go to a hospital. We would surrender to it. But most of the time she would say things, and then Robin or Jermaine would come through and be like, no.
See? Robin or Jermaine would come through and be like, no, you can't go. Isn't that interesting? This is how powerful Voice of God weapons are. Or Woody Norris style weapons of war. Moving sounds of troops. Look what they did to Las Vegas. This is what I'm talking about. There is something bigger coming. There is something really big coming. And who that affects, whether it is the Christian right, the Charlie Kirk right, or whether that is another group of people to make them look bad, is up for debate. But it is going to happen. And if you don't want to accept that, just wait till it does, and then pretend that that's not what I was talking about. And that's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
I don't like the world now. I mean, before I always knew I was a son of a bitch. But now I'm the only son of a bitch I know. Hey, make way for a real human being. Get out of the way, yeah.
Look out for Charlie.
Charlie, what that son of a bitch did. I want him dead.